Okay, we're just going to do a quick video here on multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay, so on the left here we have three examples. The first one, 3/7 times 2/5. Now multiplying is very straightforward with fractions. It's the nice one to do. All we have to do here is multiply our numerator, the top butter number, together. 3 times 2, 6. Then we multiply the bottom two numbers, the denominators, together, and 7 times 5, 35. That's it. That's all there is to that one. The second one, we do the same thing. We times the top numbers. 2 by 5 is 10. And we times the bottom numbers. 7 by 6 is 42. Now this one is a slightly bit of extra work because they're both in the 2 times table, because 10 and 42 are both even. That means I can divide them both by 2. So I'm going to write a little 2 as a reminder just here. And then 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. And 42 divided by 2 gives me 21. The final question is a whole number times a fraction. Now I don't ever do maths where I'm timesing whole numbers and fractions together. I just don't do it. Instead, I don't deal with 11. I call it 11 over 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace that whole number with that whole number over 1. Now I've got two fractions to multiply together. I can do exactly what I did before. 11 fives are 55, and 1 times 6 is 6. That's an improper fraction. I'm happy with that, but I could also write it as 9 and 1/6. Okay, now that you've seen those three, I'd like you to pause it and have a go at these three questions. And when you unpause it, I'll show you the answers. Okay, here are our answers. So pause it again and just mark what you've done. You'll notice I've shown all the options for that last one because there's a few different ways you could write it. Just check what you've done. Okay, now we're looking at dividing fractions. Just as I don't deal with whole numbers, okay, I also don't deal with divides. I don't do dividing by a fraction, not ever. Okay, instead, I change the question. So the first thing I'm going to do, if you look at the top left example, I'm going to keep the 3/7 exactly as it is. I'm not going to do anything to it. But the 2 over 5, I'm going to flip it over. And it becomes 5 over 2. You'll notice there you can see 2 was on the top, now it's on the bottom. 5 was on the bottom, now it's on the top. And then all I'm going to do to allow me to do that is change the divide into a times. So I've kept the first one, I've flipped the second one, and I've changed the sign from a divide to a times. Now I can do exactly what I was doing on the previous slide. 3 times 5 gives me 15, and 7 times 2 gives me 14. And that's an improper fraction, but that'll do for now. On the second one, keep the fraction the same at the front, flip the second fraction, and change the sign in the middle. Multiply the tops, 21, multiply the bottoms, 50. And that one doesn't simplify, so I can just leave it as is. Okay, here are two questions for you to try on this one. Give them a go, and then when you unpause it, the answers will appear. Okay, the first question, the first thing I'm going to do is change the whole question, and I end up with 1/3 times 5 over 3. Double check that you got that bit right before you multiply them together to get 5 over 9. The second question, 5/6 times 3 over 2. Don't forget to flip that second sign. A lot of people forget to do that, forget to flip the fraction. And then we just multiply the top numbers and the bottom numbers, and I've given you again lots of different options here. So you could have had 15 over 12, or when you simplify that by dividing both numbers by 3, you get 5 over 4, or 5/4. You can write that as a mixed number as 1 and 1/4. It would depend on the question as to how you leave it. Okay, there you go. Hopefully that helps a little bit.